Somebody called me today from the US and made a joke and said, now, I heard you say that our wives are still in pathfinding. So can I try Natalie? Because I'm out here looking for a home and an occupation. And I want to tell him, do not confuse her preaching for godliness. Okay? The fact that we are active in church does not translate to true conversion. It doesn't. Got to be very careful as you pick on a spouse. Hear me carefully. That boy you're raising, that girl you're raising, is not just a son, is not just a daughter. I want you to understand that one day, sooner or later, they will become someone's spouse. They will become someone's wife. They will become someone's husband. And they will be required to raise a godly offspring. I keep on joking and saying, if the Lord tarries, I will literally handpick spouses for my children. If he ever tarries. Because what we are having is a cycle of ungodly people venturing into a godly institution and seeking to raise a godly offspring. And if you happen to have this one family that is godly, it's hard to get another family that is godly for their children to get married. So we have a godly child marrying into an ungodly family. And that is what the sons of God did with the daughters of men. And sin multiplied. And the Lord regretted why he created man and had to destroy it with the flood. The cycle continues. The book Adventist Home, page 15, paragraph 1 says, out of the heart are the issues of life. And the heart of the community, the heart of the church, and of the nation is the household. Basically, she's saying households are the building blocks of a nation, of a community, of a church. We are here because all of us are coming from families. That is the heart of the church, of the community, of the nation, of the society. If you see unkemptness in the church, it didn't begin in church. Unkemptness began in the house. If you see corruption in our country, Kenya, it reflects the corruption in the family unit. I mean, government didn't raise your child. It is your mama that raised that corrupt person. The excerpt says, the well-being of society, the success of the church, the prosperity of the nation depend upon home influences. So when things go wrong in the home, it follows automatically that things will be wrong in society, in a nation, in a church. We don't come here to solve problems. Here we come for fellowship. Problems are addressed in the first church, which is the family what? Unit. We don't build character at New Life. Here, we support each other, walk together on this journey to heaven. Character is built in the home. That's why I say, do not confuse a church goer for godliness. In another excerpt, which caught my eyes, says this: the is the same chapter. It says the elevation or deterioration of the future of society will be determined by the manners and morals of the youth growing up around us. As the youth are educated and as their characters are molded in their childhood to virtuous habits, self-control, and temperance, so will their influence be upon society. Imagine we had this kind of children marrying each other. We would be living in a very beautiful society. But we have thugs marrying each other. Witch doctors marrying each other. Thieves. If they are left unenlightened and uncontrolled, and as the result become self-willed, intemperate in appetite and passion, so will be their future influence in molding society. The company which the young now keep, the habits they now form, and the principles they now adopt are the index to the state of society for years to come. It's down at the family unit. Understand. Listen to me carefully. Understand. Children do not grow up. They are not plants. Okay? Did you hear what I said? Children do not do what? Grow up. They are not plants. Children are raised. It is a sacred, it is a solemn home duty that cannot be delegated. Delegation of this duty amounts to betraying the secret of success. And we have delegated it to domestic workers. Just give birth like this. An employer who's gracious enough will give you 90 days at home. One who's too cruel will say, I need you here next month at most. And a child is left in the hands of a house help whose values you don't understand. She's raised like that. We have delegated solemn home responsibilities, home duty, and so we have betrayed the secret of our success. And so where did the spirit of Delilah catch up with us? Remember, Delilah means what? The consumer. Where did that spirit catch up with us? When we pulled the woman from her post of duty in the home and flattered her that there is a higher sphere outside the home. And told her, Mommy, study so hard, go to the university, get your master's, get your PhD, and become a very good doctor in Africa. The Book Adventist Home, page 234, paragraph 3 says, amid all the activities of life, the mother's most sacred duty is to her children. But how often is this duty put aside that some selfish gratification may be followed. And then it was followed with a cliche that says, what a man can do, a woman can do better. That is what we were told. And we put aside our solemn duty in the home to chase some gratification that leaves you empty. Say, parents are entrusted with the present and eternal interests of their child. If you read that book well, you will realize that between the duties of a father and a mother, a father tends to handle temporal things on earth. A mother is handling eternal things. But we set it aside for a PhD. A PhD in Harvard. And then you left your children in the hands of the father and a house helper. And you thought they will live together as brother and sister. Today, when young girls come to me, I tell them, pick a career that will not pull you from the house in the night. Okay? Because daddy is absent during the day. In the night, mommy is what? Is absent. And the house girl becomes mommy. House girl becomes the wife. Eve betrayed the secret of success when she chose to leave her husband's side. Ellen White says, the book Patriarchs and Prophet, the chapter is The Fall of Man, says, Adam regretted that he permitted Eve to leave his side. He regretted. So this is what the book says, page 59, paragraph 1. Eve had been perfectly happy. Not happy. No, not happy. But what? Perfectly happy. So it means we can have perfect happiness in this world. Eve had been perfectly happy by her husband's side in her Eden home. Told you it's a week for finding the old parts where the good way is. She had been perfectly happy. By whose side? Her husband's side. Where? In Kisumu? In Kericho? In their Eden what? Home. I learned something from there. Where your husband lives and work, that is where you should live. You see, this business of husband is in Nairobi looking for what you can eat. And the wife is told, you go stay at home, take care of the cows and the chicken. You are perfectly happy next to your husband where he stays. Today I've looked at it and I tell God, some of these things I ought to have known them before we got married. It calls for some sacrifice. That as we pick on jobs, the question is not how much money do we want to make. The question is, will it have us go separate ways? That is the question we ask. If I pick this job, will it keep me together with my family? Or we will go separate ways? Because then why is it a family? If everyone stays in their own town and does things and we meet occasionally, what is the essence of family? It's not a family. It's a merry-go-round club. So even when you want to go to the US, you found a good job, the question you ask, am I allowed to go with my family? When you find scholarship for your PhD in the US, the question you ask, am I allowed to go with my family? If the answer is no, you sacrifice that opportunity just for family. Atukumaliza, tulikuwa wapi? Eve had been perfectly happy by her husband's side. There's no other side where you can find perfect happiness. In her Eden home. But like restless modern Eves, very restless, she was flattered with the hope of entering a higher sphere than that which God had assigned her. That is what we are all chasing. That there is something bigger and better out there. We will make more money. Our children will go to good schools. We will have our house in wherever. We will own a home. It's the power of dual income. Listen to what happened. In attempting to rise above her original position, just that attempt to rise above her original position, she fell far below it. And friends, I don't want to lie to you. We have attempted and we have risen to spheres higher than what was ordained for us, and we have fallen far below what God had ordained for us. We have lost our spouses, we have lost our children, but we have PhDs, we have big titles, and we have a bank account. A similar result will be reached by all who are unwilling to take up cheerfully with God's plan. In their efforts to reach positions for which He has not fitted them, many are leaving vacant the place where they might be a blessing. In their desire for a higher sphere, many have sacrificed true womanly dignity and nobility of character and have left undone the very work that heaven appointed them. Is it a lie? Is it? Or I'm making you sad? Do I care? Today, we have an education. We have been empowered. It's called emancipation. We are fighting for the labor market. And there's even statistics to show the rate at which women are employed, are in employment. I think it's reached 31 or 41%. Society is fighting to have an equal 50-50. That is why things like affirmative action has come. We need to question, amidst that big group, how many women do we have there? Today you're raising a boy you hardly know. You're raising a girl you don't even know. I have no problem with empowerment or emancipation. But to the point of neglecting solemn home duties, we have lost our spouses. We have lost our children. Gone. Allow me end, because you are becoming sad. Thought you'd be happy. Let me just end it. I know people will fire me with lots of questions. We have answers, don't worry. Allow me end with these two excerpts. The book is Adventist Home, page 231, paragraph 1 and 2. The world needs mothers who are mothers, not merely in name, but in every sense of the word. We may safely say that the distinctive duties of woman are more sacred, more holy than those of man. Let woman realize the sacredness of her work, and in the strength and fear of God, take up her life mission. Let her educate her children for usefulness in this world and for a home in the better world. So if I'm going to school today, as a girl, I go to school to become a better teacher for my children. I don't go to compete in a space that will have me move from my solemn duties, chasing that which is vanity. And this big money we are chasing, I've realized it is for extravagance. It is to build a 10-bedroom house, when we know too well we can work with a 3 or 2. Because very soon these kids are leaving. We'll just be 2 of us, an empty nest, 10 bedrooms. I loved our society back then. Sons were required to come back home and build their homes there. Today, Mommy, I've bought my 10-acre in Uasin Gishu. I've settled there. Boy 2 says, I've bought my 6 acres in Narok. I have settled there. Boy 3 says, I've bought 20 acres in Naivasha. I've settled there. And they're not interested in what you call inheritance that you've been struggling to build. They are called monuments of unbelief. Beyond this home, we are chasing the higher home in heaven. I always joke and tell people, this dream house of mine, I don't mind where I stay today, how big the house is. My dream house is still in my head here. And I think it will crystallize and even become much better when Christ comes. I will build it in the new earth. Why? I am sure I will be in the new earth. When you're not sure you will be in the new earth, you have to live good down here. Good. Live good. So all of us are chasing money out here at the expense of our children. I think we will look at one topic that has to do with the education of our children. And at times I look at how here in Nairobi, a 4-year-old has to wake up at 4 for the school bus to pick her at 4:30. Take a tour of Nairobi to get to school by 8. And then take another tour in the evening. They left school at 4. Because she is the first one to be picked, she'll be the last one to be dropped at 9 p.m. 4-year-old. 4. Because mommy works with the UN, daddy works with Kiango. And all these duties this 4 a.m. business is run by the house girl. They are willing to pay the house girl any amount she asks for because she's doing them a favor. We are raising godly children. And these are the children that should be getting married a few years to come. Useless people venturing into a holy place that they don't even understand. These children are supposed to raise children. These children, the way they were raised. These ones. They're supposed to raise other children. Look at how we are getting rotten and rotten as years go by. If we want rest for our souls, we must ask for the old paths where the good way is and walk in it. Walk in it. The last excerpt, which was paragraph 2. Her work in the education of her children is in every respect. Listen carefully. Someone lied to us that domestic work is demeaning. Her work in the education of her children is in every respect as elevating and